20-ton bank vault door was no longer secure. It was looted so smoothly that no one even got a hint of it. Welcome to News Neutral. The vault door weighed 20 tons and was reinforced with steel walls. The creators were so confident in its unbreakable design that they didn't even install a security alarm inside the vault. The shock came when a group of robbers devised a master plan and spent 27 hours inside the vault, looting it while bypassing security entirely. What was this master plan, and why is it considered the biggest bank robbery in history? Let's go back to July 19th, 1976. It was a Monday morning in the French city of Nice, and the staff of the Société Générale Bank began arriving for work. At the time, this bank was known for having the world's most secure and robust vault. As part of their routine, the bank staff went to open the vault. The door was incredibly heavy and equipped with a highly complex locking mechanism. They entered the lock combination, but it didn't work. It's worth mentioning that this wasn't the first time the vault door had malfunctioned. It often got stuck because of its massive weight of nearly 20 tons. The bank staff assumed it was just another routine issue and contacted the vault manufacturing company for assistance. Within half an hour, experts from the company arrived and began trying to open the door, but this time, the experts couldn't open the door either. Despite multiple attempts, the door refused to budge. Things were getting serious as customers had started forming lines, and now it was a matter of the bank's reputation. After 3 hours of trying, they decided to drill into the vault wall to investigate what was causing the obstruction. Interestingly, there were no signs of forced entry on the vault door or any of its walls. When a heavy-duty drill finally created a small hole in the wall, the experts peeked inside and were stunned to see that the vault door had been welded shut from the inside. This sight left everyone baffled. The vault had only one entry point, and there were no other doors or windows, making entry into such a vault seemingly impossible. Given the situation, they decided to break through the walls to gain access. The process was time-consuming because the vault walls were much thicker than regular walls and reinforced with steel. After a lot of effort, they managed to make a hole big enough for a person to enter. Once inside, what they saw was unbelievable. The vault had been completely looted. Some locks were open while others were broken. The most intriguing thing, however, was a message spray-painted on the vault wall. It read, "Without arms, without hate, and without violence." Before the bank staff could gather their senses, they noticed a tunnel dug into the floor of the vault. The matter now fell to the police, who had arrived at the scene by then. The robbers had escaped with the money and gold bars inside the vault, breaking into 400 out of 4,000 safe deposit boxes and stealing their valuable contents. The tunnel they had dug led to the city's largest underground sewer line. The police found numerous pieces of evidence at the scene, including tools and 27 gas cylinders used by the robbers to operate welding torches. Additionally, ventilation equipment for fresh air in the sewer lines and an approximately 1 kilometer-long electric cable were also discovered. This robbery amounted to over $20 million at the time, which today would be valued at $100 million. Not only was this the biggest bank heist of the century, but the subsequent police investigation was also the largest in France's history. For months, the police worked tirelessly. They questioned nearby residents, interrogated the bank staff in detail, but couldn't find any trace of the robbers. Then, 3 months later, in October 1976, the police received a major breakthrough. One of the gang members was caught, thanks to a tip-off from his own girlfriend. Initially, he refused to confess, but when the police put pressure on him, he broke down and revealed the names of the entire gang. What shocked the police was that this gang was previously known for petty thefts. The idea that they had pulled off such a massive bank heist was hard to believe. Their mastermind, however, was someone else entirely. During the investigation, the gang members named one individual who they claimed was the brain behind the robbery. His name was Albert Spaghiari, a photographer by profession. When the police arrested him, he didn't appear to be a criminal at all. He dressed simply, lived a modest lifestyle, and resided in a humble house on the outskirts of the city. Upon questioning his neighbors, they described Albert as a straightforward photographer who minded his own business. However, what the police thought about Albert was the exact opposite of the truth. He immediately confessed to being the mastermind of the bank heist. For the police, the case seemed nearly solved, but this was just the beginning. According to Albert, he had previously rented a locker in the same bank, and under the pretense of using it, had entered the vault to photograph every detail inside. First, Albert placed an alarm clock in his locker, setting it to ring at night. When the alarm went off and neither an alert was raised nor any security system triggered, he was certain that the vault lacked any security measures. Next, he disguised himself as an engineer and went to the city government office to obtain the city's map. From the map, he estimated the distance between the sewer line and the bank. He calculated that by digging a tunnel approximately 26 feet long from the sewer line, he could emerge directly inside the bank vault. This task required significant second effort, so Albert contacted a local gangster and shared the entire plan with him. The gangster assigned his men to carry out the work. Digging the tunnel took nearly 2 months because it was done without any machinery and only at night when the bank was empty. During this time, Albert ensured that no sound from the sewer line to the road above would alert anyone. Finally, on the night of Saturday, July 18th and early Sunday morning, they entered the vault. Over the next 27 hours, they looted the vault in complete peace. During this time, they even had lunch and dinner there. Before leaving, they spray painted their now famous words, "Without arms, without hate, and without violence." The police presented Albert in court, where he confessed to his crime in front of the judge. During the investigation, Albert provided evidence of his plan and details of the stolen money written in code on a piece of paper. He insisted that he would only hand over this evidence to the judge and that only the judge could decipher the codes. The judge summoned Albert to his chambers to receive the paper. Albert handed over the document, which included a map of the city. While the judge was trying to make sense of the map, Albert suddenly jumped out of the window. The chamber was on the first floor, and there was a car parked below. Albert landed on the car's roof, immediately stood up, got on a motorcycle that was already waiting nearby, and escaped. Despite the police's best efforts, he was never caught. Years later, Albert gave an interview on an Italian TV show. In the interview, he claimed that he had been fascinated by treasure since the age of 12 and fulfilled his dream with this heist. It seemed as though he was mocking the French police through the interview. What happened to Albert after that remains a mystery to this day. In 1989, Albert passed away. According to his mother, his dead body was left outside their house by an unknown person.